First, I would like to start off by saying, oh my god, I haven't made a video in forever, and that's okay. I'm not going to make any excuses, and I'm just going to go along with the topic. Today, I want to talk about why faith is so important today. I feel that it's been a topic that we've been seeing a bit on artists, like for example, Rosalia in her last album, Lux. I feel that this topic of faith has definitely seeped into the mainstream, and I do love Rosalia as an artist. That does not mean that I am aligned with everything that she stands for or everything that she says. I do believe that a bit of her incapability to stand firmly on any political stance, whether that be feminism or, against that is happening in Palestine. That for me, I don't really like that, but her as an artist, I really do enjoy. But I also feel that her being vocal about her faith or talking about her faith online or, in the press, where honestly, I feel that she's talking about, her own cultural background, which obviously falls into Catholicism, which I find completely respectable, even if I'm not participant of that religion, even though I was baptized Catholic. And yes, she, this Catholicism, this white European spirituality is part of her, cultural DNA. And yes, she is white, privileged, and we're seeing kind of like the other side of her. But I also feel that it's completely fine to talk about faith and whether that faith comes from a place of sacrifice. I feel that to be in this search for faith, which I think it was part of her hypothesis during this, I don't have to say masterpiece, but her album, Lux, we see that search for spirituality and that it isn't completely and only embedded in Catholicism, because I also feel that some of her songs are inspired in other saints from other religions. But anyways, apart from faith and pop culture, which is definitely a topic that's happening now, I do feel that faith is something very important, and that we have lost our capacity to have faith. And with faith comes hopeful thinking, which I believe that thanks to hopeful thinking is how revolutions are made, how change can be brought into the world, and that transformation, whether it be from within or without. We need a bit of faith, a little bit of hopeful thinking to break these structures, to desire change in this reality, whether that be political or also just like internal change, or also the external change into our lives. First, we must have the idea of where we want to be and how we want things to be, and have faith that that could be possible. I feel that without it, we humans wouldn't have that pull or desire to bring change and positive change into the world. Well, I wouldn't like to say positive always, but change. Change comes through a bit of faith, sometimes a bit of blind faith. And it kind of makes me think of Joan of Arc. I am no expert, but I once did listen to a podcast episode on her, first in English, and I've been trying to learn Italian lately, and I was also listening to a history podcast on her. I'm just learning, so I obviously did not understand probably 60% of the whole podcast. But anyways, Joan of Arc, which for me sounds more like a mythological being or mythological persona. I think she is definitely an archetype of what faith can do. This young girl, which I think it started at 16, that started to hear a voice of God saying that she was going to free France, from the intervention, colonization would be the word also, of England. And her being super young, she goes and says that God has told her that she is supposed to guide these men into battle and to take back what's rightfully theirs, their land, and that is both to protect, their land and their culture. Whether this is a historical or mythological being, because I just find those stories to be so crazy and absurd that I don't know up to what level it is truth and up to what level it's just a narrative. Because anyways, France is a first world country that has also colonized other countries, and maybe they're just giving their own narrative to give it a bit of spice. It just talks about a young woman that through faith she saved a country from being taken, protected her culture, and moving men into battle and being like that. And I don't know, it's just like, it's such a beautiful story. We love a good martyr story. Honestly, even without being within Catholicism, I do love a good martyr story because it represents sacrifice that brings change. I think we give too much importance to our mortality, but I feel that death, whether it be metaphorical or even physical, it does talk about change. And sometimes, there's going to be a hot take, but sometimes death is necessary for there to be change and for there to be outrage. And mostly if it's someone who died protecting something they believed in, that multiplies the faith in my mind and my idea. And back to this character of Joan of Arc, which she had like such a strong faith that a bit windy right now. Let me sip on my tea. Honestly, I'm shocked it hasn't been even more windy because lately it's been extremely windy. But anywho, I feel that this character, whether they're real or not, they inspire me of having a faith so strong that even in on our weakest days, we have hope that tomorrow will be a better day, that tomorrow we will win those battles, we will win over those structures that are trying to oppose us, that are trying to bring us down, that are trying to destroy us. Having that faith of waking up every day and knowing, I will do everything in my power to believe that there could be change and that I can bring change into this world. In the end, I feel that faith, keeps us alive and it keeps the world moving. I mean, if you think about it, we're on this rock that is flying through space at an incredible speed, and we're living in this quick rock and on this flying rock, and that's a bit crazy. Faith gives us the strength to go on with life, to take every battle with courage, and if we have faith in ourselves and in something, I think having faith in something helps us have faith in ourselves. I think it's something that one does not exist without the other. I have faith on the land that I stand in, on the sun that shines down upon me, on the ancient gods, on Hecate. I have faith in my ancestors that course through my blood and that protect me, and that thanks to them I am walking here with the knowledge, with the privilege that I have today, thanks to their efforts. I believe in them. I believe in these trees. I believe in the spirit of the wind, and I believe in things that I'm an animist. I don't believe in like these structured religions, or like that there's this man God up in the sky judging us. But I feel it's important to believe in something, to have faith in something. Okay, I think I'm gonna make another tea and close this up. It's getting cold and chilly again. The sun came out for a hot second. That's why I'm like, let's go out into the world. Let's do something. Let's enjoy this sun that, shocking, is shining down upon us during this very rainy, wet, windy winter. Let's make another tea. So fear is not fierce, babes, and I don't want to fall into kind of like this paranoia or conspiracy theorist kind of narrative that the fear and hate that we are constantly being fed by social media and by news outlets, and we're just being bombarded with this excess of information, which I would normally say is just all about fear, filling us with fear that somebody outside of us wants to come and destroy us, that immigrants are evil, that the outsiders are the ones that are here to destroy us, that something bad and impending doom is always around the corner. And this constant narrative of fear is to silence the hopeful, and the hopeful are always being silenced. That the ideas of a better world are impossible. That's what fear is trying to close ourselves, to be scared to go out and say what we believe in, to give our opinions, and in the end to be hopeful that there could be a better world, that there could be a better way of existing. And I've fallen into that pessimism as well. But pessimism, it's a bit mediocre to think that there is no possible change, that nothing could possibly be better. Nice tea. And I feel that there's a difference between faith and dogma. To have faith is to break from the mental bindings that fear create. Dogma creates sheeps that follow. Faith in ourselves and in something greater, again, whether that be our ancestors, whether that be the power of Mother Nature, the force of Mother Nature, that type of thinking in something that is outside of the physical, not creating icons and influencers and making them like gods, but thinking that these other greater things, having faith in these other greater things, I believe that it frees us from those bindings of fear. And I feel that through faith we don't become the sheep that follows the herd, but quite the contrary, the sheep that follows the deep calling, that trusts in yourself and what your body and what your spirit is telling you. I used to be someone that used to have a very intense kind of like ritual, or like rituals per se, in my day-to-day. Now that has changed and I live a very complete different life, and that's beautiful that life goes through these changes. But I think faith has still lives within me in just a different way. And one way that I like to connect with my faith is through prayer. And I'd like to show you kind of how I do that. Before I start, I like to call upon my spiritual team, which, all of the gods, the new and the old, that guide me in this lifetime. My ancestor, thanks to them that I exist today and I have the skills necessary to exist. To all the spirits of the land and that exist, that are open to aid, guide, help, and protect me in this lifetime, in this moment that I am living. I give thanks, and then after calling them, I start giving thanks for all the small things, the small wins, because I know that I have been helped. I know that a lot of the things I have acquired also, is thanks to my ancestors. It's thanks to other people that have helped me, that have given me a push, that have, shown a light on my path, and that have made it a bit easier. That hasn't been just something that I've done by myself. And I also think that it's important to start being grateful to these spirits and these beings and things greater than us, because it makes us step away from a mindset of scarcity and into a mindset of abundance, of knowing that actually, that's why I start with small things like, having a nice tea to drink, which is still a privilege, and to have nice warm clothes, to be out here in the middle of the winter in a forest, to have a forest that's so close to my house that I can walk to have paper to write down all my ideas, to have this technology that helps me create these ideas, and just like small things. I have a home, to have a warm bed to go to. I like to give thanks to that, and it really places me in a mindset of abundance, of knowing how truly blessed I am. And then in the end, I ask for what I need help in. Normally, I never ask for material things, and I would like to say that I am white, privileged. I live in a privileged country. I've had many facilities and things that have helped me in my lifetime. So I'm so thankful and grateful that I don't have to ask for anything material right now in my life, that all my material needs are being met constantly. So I never really, right now, I never ask for any material things, but if I would need them, I would ask for them. And if you need them, don't be scared to ask for them. But now I am at a point in my life that I'm so privileged that I get to ask for things that are a bit more abstract and metaphysical. Like, for example, I ask for patience, because in this world, it's so easy to lose our patience, but because we're living in such a fast-paced world, and we think that everything needs to be quick, that we need to reach quick success and all of these things. And no, the earth is slow. A tree takes its while to grow. Flowers take time to bloom. And so I ask for patience. I ask for discipline so that I can do these things through discipline. I ask for a strong will to really follow my will, to really follow that deep calling of myself, to have the discipline to do the work that it requires to follow my spiritual calling. I need the will and the patience, the willpower and the discipline to follow this calling. And that's something that I like to ask for a lot. Patience, willpower, discipline, and also joy and contentment. Because, I don't know, it's fun to be joyous, to laugh, and also to be content, which isn't ecstasy. Contentment is just to be at peace where I am now, and I always ask for a lot of peace, for tranquility, that my days are filled with peace. And sometimes that could be a bit boring, because peace is a bit boring, but it's priceless. And also, I didn't write this down, but also sometimes I ask for love to manifest, whether it be the sun that is caressing my face right now, and that's a way of love, of feeling love within myself for the things I do, love for the things I do, love for nature, love for myself, love for my family, for my friends, and for my community, and for the land that I stand on, and for those romantic connections that may come along as well. We shouldn't be scared or embarrassed to desire true love. And if extra abundance is in my spiritual plans, well, let it be, my love. Give me the extra abundance, because that is beautiful, because the universe is infinitely abundant, and I know that whatever I need and ask for, I shall get. So hold up, girl, let me pray. And I'll ask you, have you prayed today? But then this is a deconstruction of prayer, because we think of prayer kind of like, going to the church, which is also valid. I like to say that's also valid. But for me, I find my sacred spaces here in nature. My temple are the trees and the forests. But if you want to go pray in your temple, that is fine. But you can also pray in your room, which can also be your temple. Your body is your temple. So just finding a space to reconnect with our body and pray, that is enough. That is enough to start on our path of having a bit of faith, of having hopeful thinking. To finish off this podcast, because I don't know, this is more like, it's like a vlog, not vloggy, it's kind of, it's a vlog, it's a vloggy podcast kind of thing. I always think that I also see faith reflected in nature. I see a lot in the trees, that right now, for example, in winter, they're bare, almost naked, and we can see the branches reaching out into the sky, into the heavens, in a collective prayer. A prayer towards the sun, hoping, wishing, praying for warmer days. Those days do come, and even though the trees are bare, almost dead, for a lot of months, 4 months, I don't know, maybe even 5, in spring, from death, they are reborn, full, lush, abundant, even more powerful, even wiser than before, than the last spring that came. So this is just an invitation to not lose faith, to be hopeful, that we also go through seasons, that sometimes we are in our winter, whether it be physical or internal, that sometimes we are a bit dead, that a lot of parts of ourselves are dying, but have faith that later on we shall be reborn, stronger, wiser than before. Anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this little chat, and just, sometimes ideas that I had in the back of my... I can't believe there's a fly. A fly just stood on me. It was huge, and we're in winter, it's freezing, and a fly is alive. Let that be another manifestation that if you believe in yourself, you can live. You can live through this cold, depressing winter like that huge freaking fly. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye.